Harley or from Warriors Way. Today we're going to talk about a concept that we use in psychology called fixed weapons. We have different classifications of different types of weaponry. And a fixed weapon is anything that is a solid, stable platform and that you're going to use intentionally as a weapon. And one of the values of this is that I hear a lot of people, when they talk to me about training and about weaponry in general, is they're not allowed to carry knives in their workplace, or they're not allowed to have a firearm in their state, or things like that. So we're just going to talk about fixed weapons and the value of fixed weapons. I don't have to carry them around. They're already here. So if I want to hit this door jamb, right? So if working on this door jamb, I got this corner here. What I would do is as I'm talking to a guy, I would maneuver myself so that the back, as he's facing me, the back of his head is right here facing this thing. So when I rushed him, even if I didn't hit him or anything else, if I just rush him and slam him back into this, that the back of his head hits the corner of this and splits him open and knocks him out. Now I had a real life situation one time where I was actually fighting three guys, two brothers and their cousin. And I grabbed the guy and scooped this one guy and had his wrist in his face. And I was rushing it, and I took 2 or 3 steps, and there was a metal frame around a glass door. I was going to try and hit his head on the corner of that metal frame. I missed it, and I thought, I missed. But I hit him on the door right next to it, the wall right next to the door jamb. And it turns out that there's actually a metal frame, or a wooden frame, inside this wall here that holds this frame up. And so that wall, that section of the wall was just as powerful. Didn't have the corner aspect of it, so it didn't crack his skull, but it knocked him out. It worked. But as we move through, just going to walk around the school here. So if I hit a guy on the corner of a bench, right? Now I can sweep him in the corner bench. I can grab his head and slam him on the corner bench. I can also use this as a sweeping tool. I can trip him over it. I can get him going backwards and trip him over it, get him upside down over, or get him leaned over, or get him leaned over backwards over this. So I can hit him on the corners of it. I can trip him on the edges of it. I can get him leaned over it, things like that. So things like this are pretty common, pretty easy. You see them fairly regularly. You also have doors like this. So you have a door like this that you can open and close. And then you have this right here. This part right here where I slam him up against it and I slide him down and slam his face on things like this. Or I have the door face, or I have the corner of the door. I have chairs like this. This isn't as fixed as I'd like it to be, but it works pretty good. It works pretty well for an impromptu banging them on something or tripping over something. Corners of desks. Again, more things here. You got countertops where you're banging people in the corners of countertops, glass tops, things like this. This is the metal frame right here that you can hit people on. This wall here, this metal frame here. All of these things are incredibly valuable when it comes to being able to really end the fight and hit him, because you're hitting him with something much greater than your hands. Now, you may be thinking, well, I have to be bigger and stronger. That is helpful. It's always helpful to be bigger and stronger. So if I can grab the guy and physically maneuver him where I'm banging him on this, or banging his hand on this, or anything else that I can get on there, that works pretty good. But I may also be backing up and using the corner of that as part of my shield. Putting those barriers between he and I, so that he's trying to get to me. I put this corner right here. He can't get to me as clearly because these benches are in the way. So it doesn't take a great deal of training to be able to do that. Now, how many reps do you need of that? Well, you can never get enough reps practicing banging someone's head on the corner of a door jamb. Your partner's just not going to let you do it. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to visualize it all the time, right? I can get 1,000,000 more reps in my head training it by visualizing it all the time when I circle people, when I'm talking to people, when I'm standing in doorways, when people are going down these things. I'm always looking for things that I can bang people on, bang people off of, that I can push them over, pull them over, ways to trap their hands in it, ways to just bang their shins on it as they're trying to move towards me. That ability to be able to recognize fixed weapons in the real environment is a much more critical thing and a much better skill set to have than just being able to carry a knife.